Nation, for another day of the week. Welcome to another edition of Chasing That Paper, presented by VegasInsider.com, the Tuesday edition of the program, flying solo today. So we'll have you in and out fairly quickly, coming off a decent show with Ian yesterday, 4-2 on Monday Night Football and a couple Major League Baseball picks. So we'll try to replicate that success here today. My 4 favorite picks for Major League Baseball. A tricky part of the schedule here with the regular season winding down. A couple spots I like, though. We're going to discuss that. We're going to recap a little bit about the Monday Night Football game. We have some viewer picks. Then we'll send you on your way. So that's enough small talk here, guys. Let's get right into the action. We're going to start things off in Baltimore, where the Blue Jays are in town. We hit the first 5 over on this one here yesterday. We're going to try to attack the full game over this time around. It's at 7.5. Boom! I'm on the over, plus 100. So the first instinct when looking at this number is that it's a trap. But do not get trapped by thinking this is a trap. Allow me to explain. I am underreacting to potential inactives. So the Blue Jays have clinched home field in the opening round. Don't be surprised to see a few big bats sit out. But this low line is an overreaction to the potential inactives, considering this is a very ugly starting pitching matchup. We have Mitch White on the mound for the Blue Jays. All he's done is post a 9.47 ERA over his last 6. Then we have Mike Baumann on the mound for the Orioles. Do we have any Mike Baumann fans watching the show today? 4.24 ERA in September for Baumann. He's pitched more than 4 innings just once in that span. Both clubs absolutely raking versus right-handed pitching. Second and third in OPS versus righties over the last 2 weeks. And check out the Orioles bullpen. Absolute bullshit. Getting obliterated. 27th in ERA over the last 2 weeks. And hey, if the Jays are resting some bats, maybe they'll be resting some premium relievers here too. So absolutely love the over 7.5 tonight in Baltimore. Next up, let's take a trip to Prop City, an absolutely beautiful spot here. Lucas Giolito on the mound for the Chicago Shit Sox. I'm going to take over 1.5 walks. That's coming in at plus money, plus 120. Absolutely beautiful stuff here. So he's topped 1.5 walks in 9 of his last 12 starts. 8 walks in 3 games versus the Twins this season. And the Twinkies showing pretty good plate discipline here lately. 9th in walk percentage versus righties for the last 2 weeks. So we'll take Giolito to close out a disappointing season. At least 2 walks here tonight. Next up, a show favorite. Michael Lorenzen on the mound here for the Angels. Talk about disappointing seasons. Another walk prop. Going to take him to go over 1.5 walks. That one's coming in at minus 120. Well, Lorenzen's had 17 starts this season. He's had at least 2 walks in 14 of those 17, including 7 straight 3 walks versus Oakland just last week. 6 walks and 3 total starts against him this season. And this man has serious control issues. He cannot be trusted. The 8th highest walk percentage among pitchers who've thrown at least 90 innings this season. So, kind of fading Lorenzen, taking them to give up 3 passes. And we'll wrap things up with a strikeout prop. A sneaky little one here with Chris Flexen on the mound versus Detroit. And he won't be flexing on the Tigers here in this game. We're going to fade his strikeout total. Very low number, 3.5. And we're getting it at even money. So check out Flexen. Look at his game logs. He hasn't thrown 30 pitches in a game in over a month now. He's been pitching out of the bullpen, mainly 1-inning stints. Last time he had a somewhat of a heavy workload, I guess, was ironically enough back on August 30th. He threw 4 innings versus this same Tigers team. Only had 3 strikeouts in that game. And no need to burn him out with a playoff spot secured. He's been great in relief. 0 earned runs in 9.2 innings of work in September. So maybe a short leash for Flexen here. And to bring it all together, Tigers striking out at the 4th lowest percentage over the last 2 weeks. That's both overall and versus right-handed pitching. So a sneaky little spot there, I think, for Flexen. So there you have it, my 4 favorite spots for Major League Baseball tonight. And if you're looking for a place to place these bets at, I recommend placing them over at BetMGM. BetMGM, let me tell you a little bit about them, guys. Kick off the pro football season with the king of sportsbooks. Sign up with BetMGM using bonus code VIBONUS. Your first wager is risk-free up to $1,000. That's VIBONUS. All one word, no spaces, and your first wager is risk-free up to $1,000. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. You must be 21 or older. BetMGM, the king of sportsbooks. All right, there you have it. All right, Monday Night Football, a bit of a mixed bag for us last night. Ian went 2-0 with both of his picks. I went 1-1. Of course, we were on opposite sides of the spread. You know, I was strongly regretted not being in on the under, but the bet that easily hit, it should have hit 3 times over, was Matthew Stafford to throw an interception. Everybody out there in the betting world was on that one. And let's talk a little bit about Matthew Stafford. I want to expand on a tweet that I put out towards the end of the game last night. We saw Matthew Stafford throw an awful pick 6, and I said, Stafford gets such a pass for sucking. He's Kirk Cousins, but in a better situation. And I strongly do believe this, and quite a bit of disagreement on that tweet there last night, but that's okay. That's what makes sports fun. We're allowed to disagree, but let's talk a little bit more about Stafford here. So look at what he's done so far this season. 6 interceptions in 4 games this season. Of course, he threw a pick 6 last night versus San Francisco, and he should have thrown 2 more. The 49ers actually dropped 2 interceptions. Then you go back to last season. He threw 17 interceptions, where he led the league in interceptions. He actually threw 2 in the Super Bowl as well. And so there you have it. He threw 2 interceptions, or leads the league in interceptions this season, led the league in interceptions last season. And let's look at this a different way. If it was Jimmy Garoppolo throwing that awful pick 6, leading the league in interceptions last year, he would get absolutely eviscerated. But he's not getting the same benefit of the doubt because, hey, Stafford won a Super Bowl, so we can't say anything, right? You know, people want to put this guy in a completely separate category. And you can't say anything bad about the guy because he won a Super Bowl last year, right? And what I'm getting at is winning a Super Bowl should not excuse gross incompetence in regards to ball security. This guy and this team is getting extremely lucky that they're not getting burned by all these turnovers. You know, everyone is always quick to point out that wins aren't a quarterback stat, and that's true. But shouldn't that same logic apply to quarterbacks who win a Super Bowl? The Rams don't win that Super Bowl without Donald and Ramsey on the defense and without McVay on the sideline. Now, a lot of people will disagree with this, but if you replace Matthew Stafford last year with a Jimmy G or a Kirk Cousins type, you're going to get the same result. They would have won the Super Bowl. They're not winning because of him. The bottom line is people have a really short memory with Matthew Stafford and his time in Detroit. Yes, absolutely. He filled the stat sheet up, but in regards to team success, he didn't accomplish a goddamn thing. But now people want to elevate this guy because he's surrounded by greatness despite not being all that great himself. It's more about the situation here. So enough dining out for Stafford and his fans because he was part of a Super Bowl winning team last year. They didn't win that Super Bowl because of him. Anyhow, those are my thoughts on Matthew Stafford. That's all I have to say about that. And the Rams might be in a lot of trouble here. They enter Week 5 at 31st in yards per play, barely ahead of the Washington football team and behind the Pittsburgh Steelers. Not very good. Apparently, there's only one receiver on that team that he's allowed to throw to. Okay, so if you love what we do here at Vegas Insider, you are going to want to check out the brand new Vegas Insider app. We've got up-to-date, easy-to-navigate odds for every major sport. We have all our latest shows, best bet videos, and podcast props, trends, features, news, all on the Vegas Insider app. Download the Vegas Insider app right now on Apple and Android. Bet better with the Vegas Insider app. Vegas Insider app. Okay, now it's time for viewer picks. A couple of responses here this week, as well as producer Tito. Bring these up. Our guy Sean Mitchelson, he's been all about these Diamondbacks' first 5 bets, hitting quite a few of them. Zach Gallanday, as a result, he likes the D-backs as a small favorite, I believe, on the first 5 money line. He's given up 2 or fewer earned runs in 12 of his last 14, giving up just 3 in the other. 7 scoreless versus the Brewers, who he faces tonight. D-backs continue to be a top first 5 profitable team. Yeah, absolutely worth a look there. Next up, we have Billy Franchise. He's taking a look into some teaser bets here for Week 5. And yeah, he likes the Niners Bucks on a teaser. That's not hard to argue with, guys. You're going to get the Niners down to minus half a point in Carolina versus a Panthers team who maybe showed their true colors last week versus Arizona. Good luck versus this defense. Baker Mayfield's been awful. Meanwhile, a beautiful teaser spot here for the Bucks. They'll be on the teaser ticket for me as long as this stays inside of 9. You're taking them from a minus 8.5 all the way down to minus 2.5. So they got to beat the Falcons by a field goal at home. Major defensive advantage. Looks like the offense might be coming back around for Tampa Bay despite that loss to Kansas City there on Sunday Night Football. A couple other good spots here, guys. You got to take a look at the Dallas Cowboys, getting them up to plus 10.5. Taking on that same Rams team. Couldn't block a goddamn thing. I think the Rams have allowed the most sacks in the league, while the Cowboys have the most sacks. Something close to that. So to get the Cowboys up to plus 10.5 on a teaser, that looks like an absolutely beautiful spot. A few others that I was looking at. Maybe the Jaguars down to minus a point with the Houston Texans in town. That could be a spot. I like taking the Bears up to plus 13 versus the Vikings. Dig into a lot of the stats. The Bears have been better than the Vikings in a lot of key areas. A bit of a surprise there. And I'm not going to touch that Giants-Packers game in jolly old England. But a couple good spots there for teasers coming up in Week 5, and I've been having a hard time with teasers, so I need the help, all the help that I can get. Okay, guys, it is now time for our Handicapper Heat Check, presented by VegasInsider.com, your home for the best expert picks in the business since 1997. Today, we recognize Kevin Thomas, who can be found on Twitter at KevinThomas04. Kevin has a 4-1 record in his last 5 MLB picks, increasing his net profits to I think that's 1,035. I don't know if that's the units. Save $10 on any of Kevin's pick packages by visiting the link in the description below. The $10 discount will be applied during checkout. That's your Handicapper Heat Check. Stay hot, bettors. Woo! There you go. Thomas. Okay, guys, I think we set a record here. In and out in about 11 minutes. Thank you to everybody for tuning in. Got the bat out tonight. Got to do a 4-0 night in Major League Baseball. The regular season winding down, so a lot coming up here on Vegas, at Vegas Insider. Down to the Wire with Kevin Rogers tonight at 6 Eastern right here on the YouTube channel. For this show, Devin Walker will be back with me tomorrow. Ian will be back with me on Thursday. We're going to be, of course, breaking down the Thursday Night Football game and giving out our official picks to win the World Series. Guys, if you're watching this on YouTube right now, do me a favor. Give this video a like. Hit that sub button right down there. And hit up that comment section. Let me know what your best bets are for the night for Major League Baseball or for Week 5 in the NFL. So that's it. Good luck with your bets tonight. Unless you are fading me. And as always, keep chasing that paper.